Gilbert. But the first final, the second qualifying final, away we go. The opening bounce is a very good one. Ruckman fighter draw, spills wide. Chapman taken by Hayes, spills across to Hunt. Ottens, Kelly kicks it down towards half forward. Howlett bounce high, going back Hawkins, coming up Gilbert, getting the footy. Stokes slips a hand pass away. Bartel, Chapman, open goal square, getting back, touched by Gwilt. Gathered there by Fisher. Good hand pass under pressure. Ray loops it over the top. Gilbert slips it away. Terrific by both sides there. St Kilda prevail. Gilbert kicks it up towards the wing. In front was Enright, in the back. Schneider will get the free kick. Or is it Montagna? Schneider is the man who gets up the defensive side of the wing.
Gee, it was a great little give by Hayes, wasn't it? A moment ago, it's a good kick to McWalter. McWalter into the man Milburn. Hacked forward by Fisher. Gets over the back, and Gardner's going to kick the opening goal. Big odds that. He likes a goal against the Cats.
We actually talk about that most weeks, the contest between the ruckman who can push into the forward line first and get used. And Ottens, as we know, he'll like to get into the Geelong forward line occasionally, but Gardner has won that first initial positioning battle, and now Ottens will be looking for him a little bit for the rest of the night.
Although the kick was smothered there by McWalter, that was the start. McWalter's playing on Milburn. Milburn getting too much space there, and you're right, Gardner knows his way around a forward line, and Brad Ottens or Mark Blake, whoever's in the ruck, really needs to be on their guard, pushing into their defensive 50.
It's interesting also that St Kilda went from wing to the centre square half forward. I mean, they made it, and they got that first kick, but they're prepared to attack through the middle.
As Bruce said, unlikely to kick the first goal. Playing his 9th final at this ground. His first goal was Geelong again, trying to work it out of the middle. Ling under pressure, kicks it out wide. Kelly leads in the race. Ray in pursuit. Ray favoured by the bounce, upended, gets a hand pass away. Montagna, Fisher, he's right half back, chips towards the interchange gates, and the ball runs out. I think that Michael Gardner might be channeling Roy Kazali. Last week he kicked a wonderful snapshot over his left shoulder, and tonight, buoyed by that, out he comes and gets the opening goal.
Got the standard matchup. We've got Ling on to Del Santo and Jones on to Ablett.
Both holding. Play on.
So Hayes, and then Ottens gets his hands on it. Milne, well done. So Gardner, prominent early. That handball, he wanted to weight it over the top. Kelly stopped it in his tracks, then Montagna deliberately to the line, but too tough to call that.
The other midfield matchup, Lee, is it looks like Selwood and Hayes going head to head in just a one-on-one battle, which would be fantastic to watch.
Ablett being held. Gary Ablett free kick.
So Ablett at centre wing, forced to go quickly to Chapman. And now Chapman long and high to centre half forward. Gilbert got worked underneath. Stokes in a good spot. Rolling it home. Bouncing it through. It's a goal.
Well, they've got the answer, haven't they? They're just that turnover is just going to be around the middle there. The matchups in the middle there. There was a couple of tagging matchups going on, but the umpires are looking for that holding on the fringe of the stoppages. Stokes has got the Gilbert matchup, or the Gilbert has got the Stokes matchup. I don't think it's so much vice versa. And Gilbert will try and get involved in the air.
Yep.
But if he doesn't mark it, then Stokes is going to be there at ground level.
If you choose to go the third man up, you've really got to influence the players. We saw that Gilbert just went through the fingers. Matt Stokes slipped round the back, ever the opportunist.
Absolutely. Plenty of gloss on that Matt finish. We're back in the middle, 6 points apiece. Gardner was up, threw a boot at it. Ling, Ray. That time he got the unkind bounce. Kelly, Ablett, 60 metres out. Long telling kick. Howlett bounce wide of the marker behind.
That'll be an interesting matchup. Will Stokes try and stop Gilbert jumping third up, or take the punt that if he doesn't mark it, he'll get the ground level ball? Look, an interesting decision to be made there.
Yeah, I think he'll stay on the ground. I can't see Matthew Stokes flying for too many contested marks.
One thing the Cats are doing is dominating the centre clearances so far.
Move it on.
Some doubt about Fisher, wasn't there, last weekend? Wasn't sure whether he was going to come up, but he's had some good touches early. Kosicki at the back crashing into Revolt and Taylor, and then Kelly busy to Enright. And in right to Mackie. Mackie quickly on the bike, and then in the corridor to Bartel. So Graham and Bartel matched up together. Back to Mackie, to Ling, left footer, so he's on the right side. Ling kicks to full forward, not a great kick, but almost. Varco it is. Has he? What a goal!
You said it, Bruce. That was an amazing goal. Just the way the ball was angled off his boot to find the gap was an amazing finish.
The build-up was great. Came through the middle of the ground. It was a Bartel onto Graham. Graham probably just giving Jimmy 2 or 3 metres too many, and Hawkins really attacked it very impressively coming through, and just such clean hands from Travis Varco. The gains that he's made this year has been one of the added dimensions to the Cats in 2010.
Important contest there by Hawkins. He made sure that the ball wasn't marked. I don't know how he squeezed that through, but he did.
Just as impressive as the goal was the clean hands at full pace, front and square.
Wow, that was some goal. Cats again out of the middle. Ottens, Ling, not so good that time. Dempster feeds it back. Untidy Bartel. Ablett, wrong man as far as the Saints are concerned. Mooney, can he kick accurately? It's back to Richo.
Yeah, Dan, another interesting matchup on the wing. Arguably their team's best players this year in Chapman and Goddard. Chapman off to a flyer, 4 possessions. Goddard yet to touch the ball. Keep an eye on that one.
He kicks the ball in as you speak, Richo, to Del Santo. And Del Santo to Revolt. And then with a careful kick, wanting Gardner.
They are prepared to go to the middle.
Ottens, and then Montagna. The first tackle looked half high, but then they got him down.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really valid point you make there, Lee. Having the ability and the courage to back your leg through the middle of the ground.
2 out of 2, they've gone from back flank to centre square.
So Cats dominating clearances, dominating inside 50s. After the Saints got the opening goal, Ottens, Milne, back turn, and then shovels the ball forward.
Dangerous tap, that one. Exposed the defensive side of the pack. There's the kick from Milburn. Wonderful mark. Bartel. That's where he excels.
Time back on.
Bartel 65 metres out. Honours the lead. Hawkins on the chest. They've started beautifully. The Cats, they're purring.
Really like Jimmy Bartel across half forward.
Tom, that's your mark. Just here, that's your angle.
Strength initially.
Thanks, James.
Got the separation. Got the footy. So Hawkins. That's his record from this situation. Not the identical situation, but set shots generally. Does depend where you take them, of course. Should kick this one, Hawkins. If he does, it's a great start for the Cats. Well, he's missed it. Hangs it out to the left to behind. And the margin now is 9.
And Hawkins and Mooney, 2 shots for 2 behinds, and they are, I think, the 2 most unpredictable goal kickers conversion-wise in the Geelong forward group.
Started pretty well, Hawkins, though, hasn't he? Because he made the contest to help Varco. Now, Del Santo uncertain. He just has to buy some time and space. And he wants Peake. It was at best a 50-50. Peake did really well against Mackie and then finds the line. That's a good result.
Was it out of bounds after he kicked it? Okay, not deliberate then, not deliberate. Thank you.
Neither side seem to be playing the defensive forward we've seen so much, and both defences look like they're going to hold their ground if the opposition forward pushes upfield. Geelong's defence particularly is holding back.
Blake front spot, Gardner, Jones, cut off beautifully by Sherwood. Ablett's back turn, brilliant, and then pushed off the ball, wins it back against 4 St.Kilda players, shovels it forward and bounces it just inside. What a competitor he is, the little champ.
Started well, getting his hands on the ball early up to the 4 possessions. Lee's point is spot on. Fisher is the player who's trying to release himself across half-back for St Kilda. Darren Milburn off Eddie in the Geelong back line.
That's the way to rack up some stats. Down goes Johnson, only as far as Gwilt. Goes back towards goal. Numbers there for the Saints. Fisher, short. Graham's got it. Looks out towards right half-back. Pinpoint accuracy. Schneider plays on immediately. Goddard, half volley, back to Schneider under pressure. Kicks virtually at right angles and runs out towards the boundary. In right, back in the side tonight. Tracks it to the interchange gates. It's out of bounds.
That was a great kick. He's got away with the deliberate out of bounds. He looked up. He saw that Geelong had the extra players. He said, I'll just miss-kick this out of bounds, start with a stoppage.
McAvoy and Blake. Blake won it. Ablett found it. Well done to Chapman. And then Chapman, good kick to Corey. Corey's got Bartel on. Couldn't quite take the mark. He had to turn around a couple of times. Handball under pressure. Revolt. Bartel was on there.
Got Milne on over the top here if they can get it quick.
So Hayes to Kazitsky. Can he go all the way to Milne? He won't. He'll go to Graham. He can run and carry if he gets the right bounce. Bartel to corral him. Back to Gwilt, who was so good in the earlier match this year. Good kick to Eddie. So Eddie, 55 out. Kicks to the top of the square. Revolt. He's got it. It's a weapon, isn't it?
Gee, that's strong. I mean, Taylor's really good in the air, but it's that reach that Revolt's got. He didn't get a chance to leap. It was just... Oh, no, he did have a bit of a leap. Oh, that's great timing. Great mark.
It's great vision of how Harry prefers. We just see the Joel Corey drop mark in the middle of the ground.
It was a goal when Becky, wasn't it, that one?
It was ROA, but Taylor will stand off Harry Taylor, at Nick Revolt at every chance. Launch at the ball. That's his method of defence.
Cloak, Mooney and Revolt. Talk a lot about the three of them, don't we, having set shots.
Yeah, Nick can be unpredictable too in terms of conversion. Let's see what he does with the pressure on this one.
So he's missed it. That's a big miss. He's tugged it, didn't he?
Must say it's perfect conditions out there at the moment, not a breath of wind. Just watch the action here. Just stabbed at it a bit.
Yeah, he always has a high ball drop, Nick, and sometimes it falls correctly, but that one was a very jilty kick.
Hunt back in the team. That's a terrible kick out. McAvoy just comes up and climbs over his Geelong opponent to take the mark.
Got one, yep. That's it, there.
Josh Hunt's confidence is very high.
Let's have a look. Gee, that was a hopeful kick.
A bit ambitious. He has generated more scores from his kick-ins than any other kicker-inner, if you like, from full back. So he'll continue to back his leg through the middle.
How many has he had against him? Because I don't think they count them as accurately.
Maybe he thought McAvoy was shorter than it turned out. Then he comes from 45 metres and he's tugged it away to the left of the high.
What are the chances of Hunt going down the middle again? Very remote. Or will he have another crack?
He doesn't even have it. Corey Enright's got it this time.
Okay.
So that's not a good kick either. To the advantage of Ray. Varco made a good contest of it though. Revolt inside. Montañez flicks it to Graham. 49 metres out. Leans back. Kicks to about 5 metres. Kazitsky. Revolt got back in a hurry, didn't he?
Yep.
He handballed it originally.
They're pressing right up St Kilda, so they're going to make it hard for Geelong to get any space on the way out. So the kick is really going to be tested. A lot of players inside kicking distance.
Isn't it amazing, that missed mark by Joel Corey? It was a difficult swirling ball over his head, trying to get a bead on it. But it's turned the momentum in this game.
Great vision there of the structure of St Kilda. You hear a lot about their press and their full zone. You can see it right there on the screen. Very structured, incremental distances between all the players.
Chapman drives it towards the wing. They come from all directions. Off hands out the back. Stokes run down. Burns a fumble. Godfrey goes to Ling. He's been busy. Chips it out wide. Bartel tracks it. Where will he go? Back towards the middle perhaps. They're on in the middle. Stokes though. The kick bypassed a couple of Geelong players. Stokes gave a contest. Falls behind. Jones has got it. Slips a hand pass away to Peake. At close quarters to Ray. Ray kicks towards the outer side. Half forward flank. Taken by Eddie. A late inclusion. Eddie just backs off and chips it back to the wing and Peake.
Peake in short. Fisher. Varco. Back to Del Santo. A left footer. So good handball to him. Jones.
Oh, there, Jimmy.
They're happy to do this, the Saints. Love to maintain possession. So Jones goes with a short one. Good mark, McWalter. Back to Del Santo. Del Santo looking for Cousins. Got him.
Been really impressed by the St Kilda's willingness to bring the ball back inside the ground here. They'll be patient with their ball use.
So what does he do? He's a long... You think he's just too far out to score a goal, doesn't he?
He has to kick the ball 65 metres just about.
So does he kick it 45 to 50 and give Revolt a jump?
He's going to have a go at it.
He's deep in the centre square, as you can see. He's kicked the ball to within about 10, 15 metres. Revolt had a fair bit of it. Corey, well done, Eddie again. McWalter snaps and just misses. He's been busy, McWalter. Down to you, Richo.
In the last 5 minutes, St Kilda's been able to control the tempo of the game by taking marks. They've taken the most marks of any team in the competition this year. That's the reason they've been able to get back into the match the last 5 minutes.
Hunt got back on the horse too. He's got the football again. Little 1-2 with Ling. Mackey surrounded by Saints. Well done by Graham. Just simply stood his ground. Fisher tried to give it across to McWalter. He's battling with Mackey over the top. Ling. And the ball up about 55 metres out from goal.
The congestion of players sort of within 50 metres of the footy is happening at the moment. As the players get a little bit more tired, normally they start to spread a bit more over the field.
Blake down to Ablett, slung. Hayes did well. Goddard, Ablett, second effort. Plucked away by Jones though. Goddard back to Graham. This is Ray. All the way back to the wing.
To Dawson, and now Dawson loads up and kicks to the pocket. It's a lovely kick, and Cossey's got it again.
Good confident start for Justin Kosicki. Just getting a metre on Matthew Scarlett. Really patient ball use here by the Saints. Richo was spot on. St Kilda now up to 58 disposals. Geelong 47. The two highest possession sides in the competition.
That was a nicely weighted kick, wasn't it, then by Dawson? He saw the only space really where Kosicki could move into. Got it out there, and Scarlett couldn't overtake him on the lead.
He's got a good record at the MCG, Cossie. 38 in 25. Much better than his career average. He's missed it. Gee, well, both teams have missed a few, but you feel like the Saints in the last 5 minutes have really missed an opportunity here.
I'll say 5 straight behinds for the Saints. They're edging closer. Majinski in the back pocket.
The way St Kilda were defending Geelong, they could be in Collingwood jumpers. They really got that Collingwood full press up.
Drives it to the wing off hands. Gilbert under pressure. Kicks it back inside the forward 50. Need to talk. Enright did well. Majinski spoke to him all the way. Over the top, Selwood. Enright under pressure goes looking for Ling. Grabbed by Schneider, got boots a ball, sends it out towards the wing. Stokes is on down the ground. Bartel spots him, so does Dawson. Dawson got across. Stokes will get the free advantage. Won't be paid, umpire.
No, Dawson will get it for blocking. It was an interesting decision. It was either going to be high or he didn't allow Dawson to get at the footy. The umpire chose the latter.
Made great late yards there, Dawson.
I am surprised. Here's Peake. Centre half back, drives it across the ground. Kosicki's the target. Could have been hands in the back there. Falls to Fisher. Lays it back to Blake, who started on the bench. Wonderful smother. Mooney throwing himself across the boot.
This is testing the Geelong's composure under pressure, isn't it, Tom? Because they're really crowding up St Kilda to make sure that every Geelong didn't allow him to go to the
No, that's a good call. That's a good call.
So Otten's front spot, and then wins his own ball. Chapman back to Ablett. Ablett smothered by Montagna. Well done by Ottens. Ling busy. Wojcinski running hard and kicking inaccurately.
Just to expand on Lee's point, what both coaches will be looking at is the outnumber with the both sides coming back to the ball. You see the colour of the jumper coming on screen, so you can get a 2-on-3 and then make that a 4-on-3 and that sort of thing. It's that's really important tonight.
Ottens and Gardner. Fisher in front. Goddard out of the congestion. Out of the chest of Mackey. Right half forward.
Hold there, Nick. Hold.
Should be looking to come back into the centre square and go to the opposite flank, but he's gone conservative down the line.
And they're all short down there. Stokes and Ablett. Johnson arrives late. The ball is out of bounds.
Easy from our aerial view, but it looked like that extra numbers in the centre square, but kind of play that you think Mackey would have gone for most occasions.
Probably deserted down the city end. Ottens was up, trying to find a way through. Johnson slings it to Varco. Snaps. Has he got his second? 2 great goals by Travis Varco.
Just huge numbers in the 50-metre arc there. I think it was all bar 2 St Kilda play. So every kick you're going to earn, and Travis Barco certainly got his ball in a contested situation. Started really confidently. His season's been outstanding from a development point of view. He's in his 4th year and really looking a part of it.
Fantastic half chance, wasn't it, really?
Just sort of sense that St Kilda had the run of play, but 1 goal 5 couldn't put the pressure on the scoreboard.
And one thing we're seeing more and more, it's like you defend by crowding your forward line, to make sure the opposition can't run it out, which means if you do get a half chance at goal, and almost got his hand, but not enough to be certain for the goal umpire.
Varco, the early star, with a couple of goals. First time he's actually kicked multiple goals against the Saints. He's played them on 6 occasions. Now Milne getting through the centre to Goddard. Normally a beautiful kick, and he goes with a long bomb to Revolt. That was a magnificent kick.
Right, missing there.
That's big, isn't it?
Yes, a player like Rewald, I mean, he really had a 70% chance then because the ball was positioned where he was going to run in. It was only a matter of him making sure that Taylor couldn't get there to spoil. We'll have a look at this. Milne finds his way. We see the top of the screen. We see Rewald. He had space. Beautifully weighted kick. Taylor made a pretty good fist to try and spoil it, but Rewald is too good when you get that kind of chance.
Well, St Kilda have only been inside there attacking 50 on 7 occasions. On each occasion they've scored and they've taken 5 marks as well inside their attacking 50. So it's all working for them at that end of the ground.
Leads St Kilda all time with 33 goals in finals. Ling straight to McWalter. McWalter inside the forward 50. Lunging at this one, Kazitsky. That was a great mark.
I think Scarlett's saying no defender can spoil if the forward is actually falling into the chest mark. And Kazitsky's got 3 of those where he's fallen into the low chest mark. All Scarlett can do really is trail him in.
5th mark inside 50 for the Saints. In the last month, they've built that particular statistic up to 19, which is up from their season average of 12. So getting the ball in there and taking marks not the problem. Have to nail the goal, get the score on the board.
20 gone.
The goal for the lead. Kazitsky from about 53 metres gives it a ride. That's a lovely kick.
All clear.
Saints lead.
We spoke before the game that Kazitsky's kicked 25 goals in 17 games, so he's only averaging a bit over a goal a game. And I guarantee he's had 4 marks in this early part of the game. That's almost a game's worth on what he's been doing. So he's really started well.
It's almost against the trend of what we thought going into the game. We probably thought the small forwards for St Kilda would kick the goals. It's been the talls. And the other way around for the Cats, haven't had the talls on the scoreboard yet. It's been Travis Varco doing the goal kicking for the Cats.
Well, Tim just spoke about St Kilda being dangerous every time they go inside their forward 50, and there is so much space in front of Justin Kazitsky. Nick Rewald is starting on the centre-half forward line and running into the centre, leaving all the room behind him for Cozzy.
So Goddard out of the centre. Gardner kicked the opening goal, and the Saints now get back the lead.
Holding Lenny Hayes.
So Hayes will go wide. Kick was a bit sloppy. Goddard stopped on the ball. Trot on it. Can you believe that? And now Kelly. So this is a big break for Geelong. Now Stokes. Stokes measures to Ablett. Well done, Jones. Didn't give away a free. Well, that was remarkable with Goddard. It was a poor kick by Hayes. And Goddard just stepped on the footy.
And we wonder how long before Ablett gets pushed into the full forward line to really test Jones as a defender.
Hurried kick out of the congestion, bounces down and just wide of the mark from Selwood.
Brad, 5 metres. Right away, thanks.
Sean Dempsey come into the side late. He's playing directly on Stephen Johnson. He hasn't had a kick yet, just the 3 disposals. So there's an early win for St Kilda.
I mean, they've had 7 scoring shots, Geelong, but they actually aren't getting really much flow in their play at the moment, like that real ball carry. St Kilda's defensive pressure's been excellent.
Had a long lingering look, then decided to run it up Goddard. Kicks to Revolt's lead, and why not? Through his fingertips at the back. Fisher went to ground. Back to Revolt.
Great recovery.
Good shepherd there from McWalter. We know about Nick Revolt. He will work. 2-on-1 down there. Not a bad result for the mark, actually, because Milne was on the deck and cruising past. Well, filling that void. Pete got it. Not quite the same. Montagna was under pressure. Joel Corey, Kelly, Chapman, scything kick to Bartell inside the centre square. Johnson's on the move. I'd go there. He does. Well, held Johnson up, almost took the mark. just in third. Pressure from Dempster. Spills out of there. Goddard did well. Jones is away.
Well done, Saints. Now Gwilt. Goddard played that very well. Gwilt's kicked to half forward. Milne stood up. Wants to go on. Corey did well just to hold him. Now Milne goes to revolt.
Boy, is he running rewind. We spoke to Ross Lyon before the game. Remember, he was injured early in the year. Would he get back for the finals? Well, the way he's worked his way back into footy the last 5 or 6 weeks, in fairness of the running he has done early in the game on Harry Taylor, oh, he is just charging all over that back forward 2/3 of the field.
We saw the hands on head here as he's lining up for goal. His work rate watching it from here is just outstanding.
Gee, there's a big kick for him, isn't it? I mean, he missed the first, which was even closer. He has kicked a goal, but that was running into an open goal. And he's kicked 2. What a start for St. Nick.
I think when a lot of football punters critique Nick's goal kicking, they don't understand the fatigue he puts himself under. He is, the amount of work that he's done from side to side, and then obviously the back lead. Harry Taylor's a supremely fit individual as well. No surprise, he's absolutely knackered when he's got the ball, and to actually kick the goal like he did, a huge effort.
Hey, Bruce, could you imagine him running the 400 metres at the Olympics? I mean, he is just, the way he gets across the field, tall, long legs, great strike.
We talked about him running in the forward line. Then he actually blew Harry Taylor up before then because he presented himself at the kick-in. Taylor couldn't go all the way back at the other end of the ground with him, and then it was just a matter of time before he was able to make that lead again. They've really blown him up. They've taken 9 marks between them now, Harry Taylor, Revolt, and also Kazitsky.
Milburn marked the Milne kick, gave it to Selwood. Down goes Chapman, that hurt. Hit by Hayes. Wow, that looks not the best. Knowing him,
shoulder.
Yeah, he's on his feet and mobile. Kazitsky, Milburn. Joel Corey run down, tackling extreme now. On his knees, Montagna. Del Santo over the top, haven't called their names too much.
I think the talk was, is the bump dead in football? The bump's not dead in football. If you make high contact, you're in trouble.
Yep.
But the body-to-body, bang.
High on the ball, both just hit it at the perfect time, and that's a stinger for Paul Chapman.
Blake hooks it down. Ray up on his toes, close to the boundary line. Del Santo.
There's a probing kick. What does he do? He goes to Revolt again.
Oh, those 2 big forwards. As we said early in the game, was their small forwards got the goals when they won back in round 13. But today, it's tonight it's Goddard and Kazitsky.
8 marks inside 50. St Kilda. Incredible. Well, you'd almost back him from here the way he's playing. There you go. But you wouldn't quite. Taylor, does he mark it? McAvoy's got it.
Remember that's 9 inside 50 marks. 15's a good game.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
9 in 1 quarter is amazingly good.
It's a good mark by McAvoy. So Geelong under pressure here, and McAvoy hooks back and misses. So big turnaround in the last 10 minutes of this game.
Minute 23 out from quarter time. Milburn will just slow things down. He will. Goes to the pocket and Scarlett. I'll be talking to Brad Scott at quarter time. Looking forward to that. Enright. Actually, I'm told Brad's twin Chris really impressed Port Adelaide with his coaching presentation. So relaxed, like he'd been there before. Here's Enright in trouble across the face of goal, and the mark is taken by Milburn again.
Doing a really good job here. I mean, all quarter they've hemmed Geelong in.
Really strong full ground press here. Every player, Barshaw and Dempster ahead of centre.
Oh.
Turnover.
Come through.
Farron Ray.
That's it, Joel.
Milburn
Play on.
had plenty of the ball there, just passing it around, but eventually they turned it over. So the idea of running down the clock hasn't quite functioned as they'd hoped.
Just trying to get someone with inside kicking distance. There was a lot of players. There was no way they could go to a lead or go in deep. They had to just find a bit of a hole. It's an acute angle, but he'll get the distance.
Del Santo's kick is not a bad one, just sliding across the face. Harry goes back and knocks it through, so it's behind.
God, it was about 3 years ago the easiest kick in football was out of the back 50 to the wide midfield. Now it's the hardest kick in football. There's so many numbers back.
It's out in the full.
Another late chance here.
Jeez.
So McWalter, who will probably look to go short, he does to Graham. It's a free kick.
I know it's accidental, but your right arm got him in the face.
And the siren's going to go as Paul Chapman just sorting himself out and
It's
going down.
probably talk distance, but he's got to really time it.
This shot in result from out on the ball kick. Enormous pressure from St Kilda in the zone.
Goes the talk and hooks it.
Didn't
kicks it
time
out
it.
on the
Yeah,
foot.
I've blown it.
Well, terrific finish to that turn by the Saints. They're a bit wayward. They missed some chances. Geelong got the 3 goals to 1. But St Kilda charged away at the end. And a quarter time in the qualifying final on Friday night footy. It's the Saints over the Cats, 31-22.
Against inside 50 marks, so they've already had a game's average in 1 quarter. They've only got 1. That's been the difference in the game.
Start of the second term, another classical bounce, knocked forward by Del Santo. Jones a half opportunity. In goes Milne. Jones thought about soccering it, elected not to. Hunt is in there.
Just a few basic numbers. I mean, both sides have crossed their 50-metre line 11 times, so that's been the same. Ball's been in St Kilda's inside 50 a lot more often, but most of the other stats are fairly even. St Kilda slightly heading contested possessions.
Knocked down again into the path of Ablett. Plays it out towards the wing. He's outnumbered. Did pretty well. Got a hand in there. Rob Gilbert of the football. Johnson slips away. Looks back inside. Comes to Kelly. Kelly to Bartel. Back to Hunt. They've got the spear man. It's Milburn, the veteran. Short one. That was a clever kick taken by Enright. Bartel once more. Not the ideal man. Blake back to Bartel. Kicks inside the forward 50. Coming up the ground. The mark. No. They'll get a free kick, Mooney. Mooney right on the 50.
Sometimes I think, Tom, this is his best distance. I mean, he's got to kick this probably 5 metres further than he wants to, but when he gets out towards the 50-metre line is when he actually kicks hard through the footy.
He's a beautiful kick on instinct. He's a great hit-up player, turning in on either foot. And you're right, Lee, when he has to really launch at it, you'd back him from further out than closer in.
So Cameron Mooney, important kick. Telling kick. Has it quite got the carry? I think it has. Good call, Tom.
Gee, Tom, I thought he might have been 5 metres too far, but I mean, he's launched that 60 metres, long and strong.
Really interesting. It almost looked like he threw the routine out of the window. He had the stutter steps going up.
But that's what it's all about, isn't it, with goal kicking? If you run in, control power, kick the ball firmly, kick it straight, kick it over the goal umpire's head, it's when you get 30 metres out and you get the panics.
Well, you certainly kick more goals than me, Lee, so you're more
Not
qualified.
from that distance,
You're
Tom, I
more
can tell you.
qualified to talking than I am.
It's a long bomb, wasn't it?
Bit of the monkey off the back after that first miss too. I think he's pretty happy to get one up.
Yep.
So the Cats back within 3 points after Mooney's goal from outside 50. Ablett from Ling, and then wide to Kelly. Kelly measures the kick to half forward. Hawkins, Gwilt. Gilbert getting back. Tucked in. Then Graham to Gwilt. Gwilt back in. Gilbert hard running to Jones. And then Jones to centre wing. Milne and Hunt. And now Ling. And Ling kicks the ball hard and high. Johnson gets set from the side. Gilbert. Gwilt held up by Hawkins. Under pressure, Graham. Good handball to Dawson. Gee, they worked that well.
They worked that well.
Really tight quarters. A good tackle, though, coming in from Hawkins. And then the ball in dispute. Blake's little give. Back to Bartel. To Hunt. Hunt launches to full forward. Johnson waits. At the back, Dempster. Johnson's left foot. Boundary throw in.
Saw Dempster just come in. He really had to pluck that one. Got 2 hands to it. Luckily, the soccer from Johnson went out of bounds. But if you're going to launch as the third man, you've really got to influence either kill the ball with the spoil or take the mark.
Blake's in front of Gardner, tries to hook it down behind. Hayes pushed to the back.
He's back.
advantage won't be
Bring it
paid.
back.
Just at the moment, the big Geelong forwards really, I mean, Mooney on the movement might get it, but at the moment when the ball hangs in the air a little bit, the St Kilda defenders are in control.
Yep.
Hayes out very wide. There he is again. He's got the ball at right half back. Revolt goes short to Goddard.
Hold there.
And just wait for Revolt to reappear somewhere up ahead.
And then Goddard again back into the corridor. Eddie, one of the late inclusions tonight. He's going to go wide this time. Revolt again.
On cue, Dennis.
Yep.
He'd actually got 50 metres further upfield and turned back on the lead. That's how much ground he'd covered in between.
Well, his work rate's legendary, isn't it? Back inside.
Been really patient with their ball use in Kilda and keen to get the ball in the hands of the good kickers, and Goddard's certainly one of them. Not on that occasion.
Now there's a poor kick by Goddard. And then Ablett's little give, not great. Montagna, Goddard has to fish for it. Goddard did very well. And now Gwilt to Fisher. Had a big opening turn, Fisher. Lovely soft kick. Kaczynski almost didn't quite hold the mark. Del Santo, Mackie versus Fisher. Bartel. Gee, played that well, Bartel. And then cut off again. Montagna's little give, hard footy, this one to win, and then to maintain possession. And they throw Chappie down again.
Tom, what do you think Geelong's confidence with ball in hand would be at the moment? They just seem like the pressure.
Yep.
They might be just starting to get that little bit.
Sticking the tackle 16 to 15, but it's also just the inferred pressure, Lee, that the numbers, just that continue outnumber that we're talking about, the St Kilda players, the ones coming into screen first.
Kelly did well. Won it out for Ablett. Enright. Little chip towards half forward. Johnson. Not a factor so far. Mooney is dropping back. He should be the target, Mooney. Well, he's ignored it. Goes across the ground. That's not a bad option either. Mackey goes 75 metres out. Now he sets it up. Mooney breaks hard to the pocket. Now he marks it. I think he likes the matchup with Dawson.
Just around a metre.
Interesting watching Zach Dawson. Then he didn't actually go to an arm across defensive style. He stuck to his zone position and picked up Cam Mooney when he came into his zone. I think getting some body contact on the key forwards is key.
It does force him out wide to lead, though, so it does make it a difficult shot against that St Kilda zone.
Kicked a long goal a couple of minutes ago. This one just goes across the front of goal as we go down to Richo.
Yeah, just at ground level, just watching the two contrasting work rates between the two forwards, Revolt and Tommy Hawkins for Geelong. Revolt gets to that many contests, he blows his opponent up. Tom Hawkins should have a look down the other end. If he starts moving around like that, he's just going to get himself a lot more ball.
Got a feeling he might wear himself out more than his opponent, though, Richo.
Got to build that big engine, Del Santo in the back 50. McAvoy a target. And from the side, Blake. And Blake again. And well done, Burns, against the odds. Late inclusion, Burns for Lonergan. Had a hip problem.
Just see Joel Selwood, only the two possessions. He's been absolutely ripping form, averaging about 31 over the last month. So he'd be really keen to start to put his stamp on the game.
Chichone's got through some traffic there to Milne. Second running bounce. Cute little kick at the weight. Well done, McWalter. She's played well. Doesn't get a lot of ball, but he's a good defensive forward. Well, he's gone here. He got disorientated, didn't he?
Yep. I think he just liked listening to you, Bruce. Your voice carries.
Still think he's playing well. So Ling with the turnover.
Ling short. Selwood. Quiet by his standards so far. On the opposite side of the ground is Bartel. He goes there now. Bartel has got Varco. Varco, 2 goals to his credit. Just forward of the wing. Enright feeds it back. This is Milburn. Short one. Taken by Mackey. Mackey still about 85 metres from goal. Comes all the way back. Harry Taylor. Scarlett.
St Kilda just defending their back 50 now. They're saying Geelong can hold on to the footy upfield, but to score you've got to get within 50 or 60 metres, and that's the area they're congesting to defend.
Must take the ball off them when they get the opportunity, though, St Kilda. You can't afford. These are just like confidence pills for the players. Harry Taylor starting to get involved. Hasn't been touching the ball in contested situations, so you don't want to give them too much uncontested possession.
It's good Mark Goddard, isn't it? Across the front. Now the Saints with Ray and Gwilt and Blake. He's in the top 5 in marks along with Fisher and Gilbert for the year. His peak. I feel like his pace in the second half could be important tonight, Pete. He's had a good opening year. He was sort of the second bunny to love it, wasn't he, when they recruited him? But he's been able to play most of the games. Revolt again at the back, splits the pack. Eddie's handball discipline. Ray, McWalter, and now Revolt on the left to centre-half forward. McWalter got a good bounce. McAvoy, good kick. Clever by the big guy. And Milne within range.
Spoken a lot about the work rate of Nick Revolt, but just his recovery. I think the way he's bounced back up from hitting the deck and got involved again with the left foot passes. He's hands on hip stuff at the moment, but really, I mean, the work rate has been phenomenal, and the use from the big fella.
His last 4 finals at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, Stevie Milne's kicked only 3 goals. Missed out in the grand final. He struck it sweetly. It's a beautiful kick.
It was interesting the way that when Geelong had the footy before their forward thrust that Goddard marked, St Kilda were just blocking up their back third and saying give plenty of space upfield. But when St Kilda had the footy, the Geelong were largely one-on-one. There wasn't any easy targets. But at the same time, if you can get it into your forward 50, then there's a bit of space.
It seemed, Lee, that there was a bit of a soft zone, a bit of a shadow zone. That's sort of 2 or 3 opponents, and you can't afford to do that. You've either got to be in the strict structure or the direct man-on-man.
Margin back out to 8 points then. Approaching midway in the term. Bouncing has been very good tonight from the umpies. Montagna digs it out, kicks it down towards half forward. Hayes in trouble. Still got the footy held to him, says the umpire. He was trying.
Thank you.
Ryan.
I mentioned earlier about the congestion in the first 10 minutes. Now the players are starting to spread from end to end. There'll be more space.
Otten's backhands it down. Montagna had it, lost it. Peake somehow emerges with the footy. Well done. Gives it to Goddard with some time. Pops it out towards right half forward. Kazitsky will need to run. Bounce accommodates Mackey. Hurriedly goes looking for Ablett. Hayes comes across. Did brilliantly. Fisher, Montagna, Revolt. Revolt looks inside the forward 50. That's almost going to be a free kick to Milne. I think it will be against Hunt. That left arm going high.
It's interesting that contest. Milbourne was in the vicinity, but he didn't seem to want to jump third up. He's a much stronger man. This Milton maybe just couldn't quite get there, but just the way the arms were intertwined, one was high.
So Milne at his second goal. 35 metres out, he was celebrating mid-kick. He puts it through.
So a real purple patch here, Stephen Milne. He's starting a lot of the game right up on the wing, as Brad Scott mentioned at quarter time, to bring Josh out of the space where he feels really comfortable deep in the defensive 50. But on this occasion, more than adequate in a one-on-one contest. We've spoken all year about the skill of the small forwards in a marking situation. Sure, this was a free kick, but there's an art to drawing a free kick. And, you know, that's a matchup that I don't think Bomber Thompson, to be fair, has another direct matchup for it. So we'll have to watch to see how that one pans out.
I read somewhere he's about 100 Ks, Josh Hunt, so he's probably giving 20 Ks, Milne, but the strength of his legs to hold his ground forced Hunt really to just be uncontrolled in the contact when the ball came.
So Geelong dominating the early part of this quarter, but not really putting it on the board. Ablett, Goddard.
And normally Geelong's Stephen Baker last minute withdrawal is so good, but there's plenty of space there tonight. The forward line is looking really dangerous in that forward third.
David Armitage was with Baker. They had 25 warm-up tonight, the Saints. Not a good kick, and Gilbert takes a risk and goes and kicks long. Gets it over Kazitsky's head. Well, Scarlett's made a blue. He gets the free kick, but it wasn't a confident Scarlett.
It's where they can't move it quick, isn't it, Geelong? They can kick it around, but they just can't get any forward flow, particularly in the middle of the part of the ground.
Otten's the target.
In front being held, he'll get a free.
what it seems, Lee, is when in that situation, when St Kilda are hemmed in like that, they've got a player like Nick Revolt just absolutely working his direct opponent Harry Taylor over. Geelong not having that option at the moment.
Well, I'm not sure he marked it. I'm sure he threw it. It came out from Hawkins to Stokes to Kelly. Kicks inside the forward 50. On the stretch, Bartel. Did that come off his boot? No, it bounced out of bounds. In the right full forward pocket. Gilbert. Worse for wear. They say friendly fire, but
did he throw this one?
Not that friendly.
No, it's like being run over by an ambulance. It's taken there by Fisher. Slips it away to Del Santo.
Good kick after a very good line as he finds Montagna. She cats need the next goal. I mean, it's obvious that they really do, don't they?
Not off yet. I'll call it, Tom. Play on now. Play on.
Probably we all came here thinking the lower the scoring in this match, the more chance it could have got.
Yep.
Geelong, who didn't kick a goal against them after half-time earlier this year.
Really, at the moment, Mooney's the only forward who looks dangerous. Barco had a couple of kicks, kicked a couple of goals, but Mooney's really the only one up there who looks like getting on the end of the forward attacks.
And yet, Lee, they've had Johnson over 50 goals and Ablett over 40 goals.
He's not on tonight, though, Johnson, yet.
Not yet. Down low, that's a brilliant pick-up by Peake. To Gardner, to Montagna. He's been doing a lot of the hard stuff and now running. Hunt sets himself. Goddard, very good. Ling, Goddard has to get through. He does. Del Santo, they'll backtrack.
Yep.
Peake becoming important. Back he gets it from Goddard. And then the switch okay. The Saints to build. Gardner out wide. Fisher at full stretch. Goes long and high. Milne's the target. Brilliant, Stevie. He's kicked three. He's kicked the hat-trick of the MCG.
Well, I'm not sure what you think about that one, Lee, when you take a mark inside 50.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, the fact is he's doing Josh Hunt in the one-on-one contest. That's the fact. That's the rowing thing for Geelong. But really a set shot, because he likes to hook the ball, Milne, the set shot from that angle, I got a feeling that the bouncing the ball through maybe is a better percentage chance. Milne certainly thought that, and it worked for him.
Got the contest here, Milne and Josh Hunt, and Milne is in red-hot form at the moment. I don't think Geelong have another option, a plan B for Stephen Milne. They would have backed Josh Hunt to do the job for the entire night. Corey Enright's the obvious one, but he's such a damaging half-back flanker also.
Gardner came hard, spills across towards Milne. He's on the rise with his confidence. Montagna brilliantly. Schneider sets it up. Milburn desperate, got it on the ground. Milne with the last 3 goals of the game. Joel Corey pops it out wide. Selwood, a couple who need to get busy. Selwood tracks it close to the line. Down he goes. Blake took care of him. Over the top, Hayes, Graham. Peake's been everywhere in the last 5 minutes. Over the head of McAvoy. Getting across his end right under pressure. Goes to Joel Corey. Corey gives it to Chapman. Now Mackie breaks away from defence. Kicks to midfield. Staying on his feet. Brilliantly done by Goddard. Superior strength. Now he looks for McAvoy and finds him right on the 50.
Really impressive work by Justin Kosicki off the ball. Didn't make contact with Milburn, but just got in the space and
Oh dear. Del Santo.
They're just not getting back in there, Geelong.
Yep.
I mean, exactly that play. St Kilda are getting back and just blocking all that space from the kick into the goal. But I think the Geelong midfield, I got a feeling Bomber would be saying to them at half-time, "Oh, you've got to get back and block the holes." Because just at the moment, it's a bit one-on-one, and the St Kilda forwards are moving off the Geelong defenders too well.
Milburn very slow to go there. Obviously thought somebody was behind him to pick up that man, but Del Santo just went down into space. Now he kicks from 35 metres out and he misses. That would have been a big goal. They're up by 21 points, and certainly Geelong are on the ropes at the moment.
Well, the Saints at 7 goals. They obviously only kicked 5 goals, 7 in the entire game against the Crows last week, so their scoring prowess is certainly up.
And Geelong, well, they're bogged down, aren't they?
Nick Revolt.
So Revolt has just come off the interchange. Goddard's playing a game, isn't he? That mark is going back to Revolt, but he's having an enormous influence. Revolt to full forward. Kosicki, Hunt. He's had 3 goals kicked on him in about the last 10 minutes. Stevie Johnson, now you can That's a good sign of just where they're at the moment. Give me something to kick to. Mooney does. Brushes aside Blake to Stokes. Does he get a good bounce? Can he take the man on? Did pretty well to Burns. A couple of their ball carriers together. Good kick to Hawkins and good hands by Hawkins. So they're able to find a bit of space, the Cats.
One of those nights tonight, Geelong, where their forward line, I mean, we know that they didn't score goals in the second half when they played St. Kilda. They've got that look about them tonight. They just look like that free-flowing scoring power. It's been their hallmark.
Even that build-up was a very patient build-up out there along the wing, obviously, here.
Seen a lot of kicks from this pocket tonight. That one coming back and behind. So
just to pick up on that point, Lee, we can have visions of Geelong bringing the ball through the middle of the corridor when they're playing at their best. But that was a really patient ball build up on the wing. Stephen Johnson had to push right up into half-back to get his hands on the footy. Not the typical forward structure for the Cats.
Goddard, his 18th possession. He got his first at the 9-minute mark of the opening term. Ball close to the boundary line. Graham takes it across.
Yeah, the method of doing it's not so easy, but what you do know, if you mark the ball in the forward 50, you have set shots of goal. St Kilda have done it, and Geelong, that part of the game is just not working for Geelong. 19 apiece inside 50, so they're having their opportunities.
Gardner and Blake, a pair of Ruckosaurus. We've got a bounce out towards left half forward. Martell, last man up. He's been terrific after what we said was a slow start. Blake directs it down. Bartel, Ling, out of the congestion. In front, Hawkins. Well played by Gwilt. Got it on the ground. Chapman. Well, his accuracy and everything else deserted him. High ball. That's a strong mark by Gilbert. Spills. Can't play on.
Strong mark by Gilbert. Again, Brendan got up right in the hole. He's just reading the ball a treat tonight.
You've got to clear out, mate. You can't block the guy on the mark. Clear it out.
Saints playing tall too. They've got McAvoy, Kaczynski and Revolt in the forward half. Remembering Lonergan not playing tonight.
Yep.
So they're stretching Geelong.
And McAvoy looks really comfortable in the forward line. He can work the angles and obviously take a strong contested mark.
So long and hard, Milne getting kicks everywhere.
And what we saw there, Geelong actually employing a man-on-man defence. St Kilda have had the really strong squeeze-up full ground press in this particular occasion. It's direct Geelong player on the direct St Kilda opponent, so it becomes a work rate thing for both sides.
So Hunt goes from the ground and Milne now gets picked up by, I think, Mackie. No, Milne's now going to leave the ground as well. Kelly's handball wide. Chapman back to Corey. Then Corey gets around and then goes to set up a good kick.
And have a look at the number of St Kilda jumpers. They're just having to spot the ball up, aren't they? St Kilda are really getting back and making that kick into the forward 50. Geelong with a lot of danger. We'll just see where Mooney leads into. There's a lot of we didn't quite see all the St Kilda jumpers, but there was plenty in the vicinity.
Schneider just couldn't make the tackle stick. So Mooney, it's coming back. It's a good kick. So the Campsters kicked a couple of second quarter goals.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Lee. It's a very risky kick. Obviously, the reward is that you're going to get the shot straight in front of goal. But I'm not sure whether you can bank on that being your viable option all the time. As you said, there were a large pack of St Kilda players there. We might get a look at it here. Joel Corey bring it in. No, probably not quite. But
but found the hole and he made it. Led into it, and made it.
There's a familiar face and haircut. Max Rook in the crowd.
They'd like him fitting well out there.
Yep.
Tough hombre. And looks at 2. Margin 14 points. Ablett wheels around, drives it high inside the forward 50. Varco outmaneuvered by Ray at close quarters to Fisher. Gilbert goes back to Gwilt. Gwilt across the ground then, demanding something of McAvoy.
Well, the St Kilda ruckmen have actually really got the Geelong blokes off their bit in terms of the getting useful around the ground.
Next link in the chain predictable. Revolt again working so hard, watching up ahead of the play, gave one dummy lead, worked back and then came again. Revolt to Hayes. Running it down to half time. Saints Led by 9 points at quarter time. It's out to 14, as I mentioned now. Hayes told to play on. Kicks beyond the wing. It's a high ball. Mackey flies from behind. Montagna, who is standing his ground in front, socket only as far as Schneider. Schneider goes inside the forward 50, barely. And the mark is taken by McWalter. Gives it across to Goddard. He can kick it a long way. Goddard lines up and splits the middle.
We always know that Goddard is the long-range kicker. He was actually probably almost within scoring distance, McWalter, but when there's a St Kilda player anywhere near the 50-metre line, they'll flip it on to Goddard. He's such a good long kick. That's 11 kicks, 8 handballs, 19 disposals for Goddard. He's getting a lot of the footy, and he's so penetrating with his play. If he gets a lot of the footy, St Kilda actually are moving the ball quickly and long.
McWalter's a very good player at getting himself free, and on that occasion there was no Geelong player that went to him. He actually was an option the first time round, present himself in the corridor. Nobody went to him then, and then when they won the ball against St Kilda, he pushed forward on his own, and that's something that Bomber Thompson is going to have to address with his players at half-time.
Ottens wins the tap. Ablett did very well to get an effective handball away. You reckon a crucial 3 minutes faces the two teams. Kick forward. Well done, Stokes, in the end, because it looked Goddard's. Hayes having a big first half again, up to 11, but contested possessions. Back to Corey, inside to Milburn. Cats need a goal before half-time. Poor kick. Ray. Not sure about that handball. Dempster. Bartel started well. Haven't seen much of him in this term.
Jump off him, both guys on it.
Both sides getting away with one there.
Well, you can, Geelong have turned the ball over about 5 or 6 times that I can recall. Like just crank, it's almost straight to the opposition, and that's unusual for them. They're under pressure.
Don't think the sponsors will be too happy with the backhander there from Ross Lyon.
No, the coach was animated.
I'll have it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Fred. Hey.
There's round 15. 56 plays 36. Just a couple of minutes out from half-time. Ottens. Slung was Del Santo, and the ball came from Chapman and was marked by Dempster, just dropping back. A late inclusion, Dempster. Just repeating Stevie Baker. Didn't come up. Here's Goddard, just getting the ball everywhere. Goddard now is up to 20 possessions. Fisher, the beneficiary of that one.
Interesting with Baker, because Stevie Johnson's been a non-event in the first half, hasn't he?
He has.
And Kelly's trying to get to Goddard a bit at the moment, but certainly Goddard's ability to float up and back midfield, be the extra defender, that is cutting Geelong up, that particular part of the game.
So back it comes.
Geelong with the opportunity.
Now play and stop though, Darren.
With the opportunity to get on the scoreboard. St Kilda would have been really happy just to wind down the clock and possess, but were forced to kick long down to the contest.
Taylor to Chapman. Selwood's the one that's the mystery, isn't he? He's hardly touched the footy.
Yeah, 3-1 to Joel Selwood, just the 4 possessions.
See, that's a dangerous kick to centre-half back. Good mark in the end.
50.
Ooh,
That's going to be
50 to 50. Square to square.
Just
square to square.
Watch the St Kilda players push back, even Nick Revolt pushing right back.
Yep. Thank you. Just going to let him go quicker, mate.
So Schneider pays the penalty. Can Geelong conjure something here? Wojcicki goes short.
This is a different part of the... Whenever this happens, Geelong have got no space to go to, but quite often in this play, Geelong's midfield haven't got back to block up.
Taylor's kick, cut off. Montagna, play on call.
That's the point right there, Lee, isn't it?
Yeah, the way they're defending their back 50s is very different between the two teams.
So this bounce, about 35 metres out, directly in front. City end of the ground, down inside the last minute.
The arm, hold, free kick.
Gardner gets the free
Grab
kick.
his arm. Michael,
Got
stay
the
out.
opening goal of the night.
Thank you.
Rampaging on the forward line. Goes out wide. Peak. Been very handy.
Stay there.
They wanted pace on the outside. Peak and love it. The men who were supposed to provide it. Well, Peak has tonight. Comes back to Milne. The star certainly of the first half. Milne alongside Revolt. Revolt set the tone early.
Stay there.
I remember Harry Taylor telling me that
No more.
he loved a cognac. Well, at half-time, he might need a double. Here's Del Santo, close to the boundary line. Almost time for the siren. Off hands, it falls in front. Peak again, emerges with the football. Feigns a hand pass, goes to the wing. There's the siren. Saints supporters will be delighted. Coming off a loss last week, they've come back ever so strongly. And this man, not this man, but Nick Revolt, hasn't played against Geelong, obviously, with that injury, since the grand final. And he's come up trumps in the first half to give his side a 20-point lead. Friday night football, the second qualifying final. St Kilda 8-8 and Geelong a 5-6.
Saints going well at half-time. A special edition of Game Day after the final siren. Tom Harley, he'll choose his All-Australian side. Brad Scott on how the Dogs can beat the Pies. Matthew Richardson on Rising Stars. Chris Judd on the Blues and finals football. We're going to hear about Brad Johnson's injury. Half-time show is next. Hope you join us Game Day after the final siren.
Start of the third term, Friday night football. Second qualifying final. And the Cats, the champs, the reigning premier, with a fair bit of work to do. Kelly's up and under. Fisted back by Gardner. Jones to his own advantage. Was it Revolt? It was Revolt. Sliding in was Kelly. Going to ground Joel Corey, looking for a free kick. Spills to Del Santo, smothered off the boot. Hayes, head down. Wins a free kick.
How hard did he attack the footy with his head over the ball? I mean, you get protection with the game, but you still got to have the courage to go at it. Might have hurt Ablett in the process.
He got the double whammy. He got the daily double. Lenny Hayes kicks inside the forward 50. Then Revolt launches himself, not quite, falls in front. Here's Jones, 55 metres out. Hooks it down towards full forward. He's run back, Revolt. Open goal, boot the ball, gets it. Oh, what a remarkable effort. In the contest, on the ground, gets the goal.
Yeah, early goals lead when the ball's reasonably dry at the start of the quarter. Gary Ablett was on the receiving end of that attack on the ball. I think it was from Lenny Hayes.
I've got a head on the kneecap.
Yeah, you just see Gary on the background there of Clinton Jones not really putting in the hard yards because he physically looked like he couldn't do it. Nick Revolt's work rate again, even to push back. So we'll keep a real close eye on Gary Ablett and how he tracks now. Hayes to Ablett, and it is a knee to the head. You don't often see the knee. You don't often see the knee come off second best out of that sort of clinch.
So Hayes put the big bump also on Chapman, didn't he, in the first half? Revolt searching. Del Santo, high ball to about 30 metres. Kazitsky behind, good mark. Scarlett.
The other big matchup, Bruce, is Joel Corey's actually gone to Stephen Milne and Josh Hunt to McQualter.
With a slow ball movement, they haven't got an easy out.
So Scarlett, careful kick again, and All Saints. Goddard just picked it off, comes back inside. McQualter, sliding mark. We know he likes to give off, he does. Fisher measures it again. They ask a bit of Revolt, he gets there, switches it back to Graham, off one step, and good kick again. Gee, this is all too easy.
Does that look like Joel Corey's been sent to the back six on that nil matchup, or was he just near him on that play?
No, he's the direct matchup. We see the turnover here is to Brendan Goddard. He's absolutely everywhere at the moment, but that's a hard matchup. Joel Corey onto Milne. We saw Bomber Thompson talking to Joel at half-time. That was obviously the message he was passing on.
So Milne has kicked 3 goals in the opening half, all in a hurry in the second term. Misses that.
Joel Corey, not necessarily known for his shutdown roles, but he's had a terrific history on Ryan O'Keefe from the Swans when required, so he's certainly not out of his depth, but the gauntlet's been thrown after the confident start that he got playing on Josh Hunt.
Taylor out of defence. That's a nice kick. Bartel goes back into unexplored territory. Gives it across to Selwood. Selwood pushed as he kicked. Stolen by Ray to Graham. Well, that's ambitious. McWalter taken down. It was a good tackle by Kelly, picked up by Bartel. Chapman sold his teammate Wojcinski into trouble. Back to Chapman. They're conceding ground here, though. Joel Corey in the grasp. Wojcinski, Kelly just got away in the nick of time there. And now the high ball favours, well, as it turns out, Hawkins. As if by design. Gets a hand pass across towards Enright. Probing kick onto the chest of Dawson. Just going back to the Saints' last goal. I could have sworn that Riewoldt got a boot to it. Apparently not. It's a goal to Jones. Riewoldt stays at 2. Fisher's got the mark in the rain.
Steady rain. A lot more we're told to come. Looking at that radar. So Graham.
A lot of space in St Kilda's forward 50. If they can get the next position, then they're in with space.
So he kicks inside that 50. Otten's back. Well done, Gardner. Montaigne's been very, very good. Can kick a goal. He does. They might be home. It's a long way to go, I know.
Every now and again, when Geelong are not on, they look slow. They look like they just can't sort of get across the ground. And the tackling pressure of St Kilda might be making it appear that way. I mean, they've only had 25 tackles, which is not a massive number in just over half of football, St Kilda, but Geelong just can't get any momentum. And just that spoil, how important was that from Gardner?
Good finish.
Brad Otten's dropping back to fill the hole. Great effort. That is absolutely textbook. He kept his eye on the ball, didn't turn and interfere with Otten's in the marking contest. Affected the spoil.
Bartel taken down strongly by Hayes.
And that rebound that started that goal was when Joel Selwood, he had nothing to go to.
Yep.
So he had to try and hold onto the footy, and that's where the turnover came.
Gardner, Selwood. Not intended by Gardner. Selwood kicks inside the forward 50. Varco paddles it on. Back goes Jones and pushes the ball out of bounds.
Lee Montaigne was the one who kicked the goal. David Wojcinski's playing on him. Joel Corey is deep in the defensive 50 on Stephen Milne. Perhaps a swap up Wojcinski and Corey might be a better option. Joel Corey stronger in the air, but also very adept at the ground level.
Otten's laid it down. Ray in hard. Back to Hayes. Dempster and then Del Santo. And I think we'll have a ball up. So Podsiadly watching on.
Available next week.
He is. And
might be next week too.
Looks that way.
But it's their midfield half-back line. That's where they have to get a bit of bounce from. Geelong.
Hayes gets a free. Since the 19-minute mark of the first quarter, it's 9 goals scored to 2-3.
Yeah. Just every time Geelong go forward, it might be a sort of long kick in, but they just got no run and carry through the middle of the ground.
St Kilda have been really great at bringing the ball back into the corridor, as we see on this occasion. Graham receiving the ball off Fisher.
Happy to go back, as they do so often. And in Del Santo, they refuse to be rushed. They want option A, and then Gwilt's long ball to 50-50. Peake's been really good. His pace a worry here. Scarlett goes to ground. Milburn back to Corey. Has a fumble.
Off Milne and out of bounds.
Brad Scott touched on it at half-time. The discrepancy in overall possession, 227 to St Kilda, 180 to Geelong. They've just denied Geelong the ball, which is putting a lot of the Cats in unfamiliar territory.
Milne stiff there. Terrific in that second term. 3 goals in succession. Selwood got it from Stokes. Goes to Milburn. 7 possessions only for Joel Selwood, who starred back in round 13 on Friday Night Football in that slog in the wet. 34 possessions against the Saints. Well shy of that at the moment. Scarlett. Joel Corey at the feet of Hawkins. Back to Corey. Nothing easy for the Cats. Slips it out wide. Milburn. Bit of a fumble now. Scrambles a kick forward. Mackey kicks inside the forward 50. Hangs a long time in the air. Stokes disposed of. Gilbert took the mark. Comes out looking for Peake. And Peake has been terrific. Plays on. His old side, of course, will play tomorrow. He drives it up towards the wing and Graham.
Which is a beautiful kick. Graham getting better as the match goes on. Riewoldt's been brilliant all night. Can go on here if he likes.
Let's get it through.
49 metres out. Kicks to the top of the square. He was having a shot, and he's hit the behind post on the fall. Well, Geelong just can't find a way home. They kicked 6 goals the last time they played the Saints here on a Friday night. They're on 5 at the moment.
And this is very much like the St Kilda of 2009, where they just strangled oppositions and made it impossible to score. Their ability to stop the opposition scoring hasn't been as good, I don't reckon, the last couple of months. But it's back tonight.
Hawkins wins it down. Putting the pack at pace. Ablett back to Hawkins. Chapman. Now Burns. Kicks through midfield. Peak is running back with the flight of it. The mark is taken by Blake. The Blakes between them haven't had a big night. The kick from Barco. Will it be his third? Off the ground by Mooney. I think it's a goal. Hard way of doing business. Margin back to 27.
I didn't see a touch.
Yeah, so I guess we'll have a look at the replay in a minute. Certainly Zach Dawson was at least arguing that he actually pushed the ball through.
Get a good look at it here.
Of this.
Probably a bit hard to sell from
you wouldn't make a decision on that, but it looks like Dawson may have got it right.
We'll get a good look at 2 different angles on this one there. A little bit inconclusive, but the St Kilda supporters certainly think it's been touched.
I reckon he might have touched it onto his boot.
I think he probably did.
Inconclusive, really.
Well, goes down as a Mooney goal. He's the only cat to kick a goal since quarter time. He's got 3. Ball back in. Scarlett did very well. McWalter down low. Kelly low. Handball, though, cut off. Handball forward by Eddie. Scarlett, Corey, brilliantly done by Montagna to Milne, and another good smother. That was terrific by Scarlett. The Cats, if they could string a couple together, but they're still nearly 5 goals down. Goddard switching. Peak, so important. Running hard, and then going long. Revolt, front spot. Taylor, Revolt. Corey. Hawkins. Cut off. Montagna, important. Back to Eddie. Back to Milne. He loves this Milne. And that just got the wrong bounce. He's having plenty of shots.
I reckon Rewald would have marked that in the first half. That's with a slippery ball that's going to make it a bit harder with the way he leaps full stretch.
The pressure St Kilda are applying when they're just outnumbering back at the contest and forcing the Geelong players into a turnover, whether that be a direct skill error or just a fumble at the contest, is just outstanding from the Saints at the moment.
As confident as Geelong are, because they've been so good for so long, they would be a little bit shaky with ball in hand, because they are turn it over tonight a bit. The St Kilda pressure's too good.
Enright Selwood came from Mackie towards midfield. Opportunity for Stokes, falling to the ground. Burns slips it forward, off the ground by Ablett, but wide of the mark. I think it was intended for Varco. Wilt stood his ground, got a hand pass across to McWalter. Back to Varco. He was tripped. He'll get a free kick. It is slippery, and that tackle sliding down as the rain starts to increase. Varco to Ablett. Looks inside the forward 50. May have been touched off the boot. Play on's the call. Over the football link, Varco. Well, that was ambitious. Blake around his ankles. Jones. Varco does well. Held on a while. Ablett close to the boundary line. Probing kick down towards the pocket. Hawkins, their most dangerous forward, took the mark. Played on. He played on. And the ball's gone out of bounds.
Get a good look at it here. Contested marks inside the forward 50. Absolutely gold. But yet the movement was there. Did play on. Yep, good decision.
Blake front spot. Johnson seen so little of him. He's got it. Geelong kicked 2 goals in a row and closed the margin.
Yeah, there's the man. Johnson is the man that's going to have to kick his 3 or 4 goals, you would have think, in the second half for Geelong to have any chance of winding. And Dempster's done a really good job. But now the ball's a bit slippery and it becomes a little bit unpredictable.
A bit fluky.
Sometimes that even helps Johnson, I reckon.
Yep.
Because he can actually work off opposition mistakes and their ball handling errors.
Just see Steve Johnson left of frame there, working as a direct opponent. Dempster under the ball. Terrific use of the body, you're right. Lee, I think
the
the
players
players
shoved him in the back. No one saw it, so that's fine. You get away with it.
effective if no one saw it.
Montagna digs it out of the middle. The Saints come forward inside the forward 50. Enright at the back. Taylor was up in front. Revolt split them, taken by Schneider. Oh, well done, Wojcinski. Got there in the nick of time like the cavalry. Scarlett's over the football. At the base of that is Eddie.
Where's the footy? It's there somewhere.
Eddie's not a happy camper. He came out talking. Meantime, Montagna head down, charges in. And the ball is held in. We'll have a ball up.
That's the kind of play sometimes if you charge the ball head first, you can sometimes get the high tackle. It's just not a bad desperation play.
Some telling statistics there, contested possessions and tackles. That's Saints footy that they talk about when they were at their absolute best in 2009. And in the last month, although they haven't been necessarily getting the dominant performances on the scoreboard, some of the key indicators, in particular marks inside 50, they're up to 19 a game. But they're really smashing sides in contested possession and tackles, and they've transferred that into the big stage in a qualifying final tonight.
Certainly this year, 15 is the most that's ever been against Geelong in any game this year. So this is an amazing performance from that point of view by St Kilda.
Peak doing it all. He just had a clearance a moment ago, missed the goal, an opportunity to kick the goal. That's a great mark. Back inside he goes. Fisher, they can work right round the flank here. Still being played.
I think they'll drive it right to the full forward line. Really put the pressure on him.
That's what he's done. Revolt, Goddard lining up. Revolt had first touch. Mackie, Schneider. Hasn't had a lot of the ball, Schneider, but his defensive work's good. It was a good grab by Pete.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
What's St Kilda Footy Club enable their players to do is play a specific role, and then as a result their confidence rises from doing the team thing, as Brett Peake has done this season.
Chance for Hayes to Revolt. Revolt across the body, upended as he kicks, and the ball flies out of bounds on the fall. Wow, Brett Peake, interesting player, Peake. We spoke earlier about why he was recruited. He certainly wasn't your average player when he started his AFL career. He polled 10 Brownlow votes in his first AFL season with the Dockers, which was 06, including 3 threes. Here he is again. Goes after the footy. Not a bad way to start a career. Bartel, Ling, Ablett. Can he get through? Yes, he can.
There's one.
On the move is Mooney. Chapman is cruising towards his teammate. They've got the overlap. Where's he going with the kick? Well, he needs to be precise, and he is. That was a beautiful kick. Now Burns, who hasn't seen much of it, a late inclusion, missed last week not being rested but through injury, and now a chance to hurt the Saints on the scoreboard. Only his 5th possession. Must kick it, and he does. 54 plays 71.
It was one of the rare times there was quick ball movement off halfback, wasn't it? They took the punt. There was a flurry of possessions on the defensive 50-metre line, but when Geelong were able to run it out, one of the few times they've got the ball quickly into their forward 50 and it got something like a one-on-one.
What actually happened here was Paul Chapman came from off the bench and created an outnumber. He wasn't necessarily used. Cam Mooney is an exquisite kick of the ball when he doesn't think about it. You know, that instinct, that is, as Dennis would say, centimetre perfect.
Last 3 goals for the Cats have come from 3 inside 50s.
Yep. Yeah, no, they got space in there because they got the ball in there quickly because they got some good ball carry through the middle.
So they've got this margin back from 33. It's a 17 Revolt. Belting forward. This is a chance. Milne was lurking. Well done, Ling against Goddard. Goddard pushes him off. The Cats getting some numbers back. Searle go under pressure. Goddard, Del Santo. Normally a brilliant kick. Gives Revolt every opportunity.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh,
this is one hell of a game,
isn't it? It looks like Ling might have tried to get to Goddard. I think they might have said, we've just got to get our best sticker.
Yep.
Goddard has just been too good as a link man.
What about the kick from Del Santo? We spoke at half-time about getting the ball in the hands of Goddard and Del Santo. Goddard probably getting all the points.
Great when you've got enough confidence in your forward. If we can give him a 60% chance, he'll get it.
Yeah.
Second mark he's taken over the back. The last time he ran in and kicked the goal. This is his 6th shot on goal tonight, Revolt. He's now kicked 3, and the Saints sneak away again. It's a good lead.
I mean, it's just been a masterful display, just this sheer work rate, and now we're actually getting the scoreboard. 3 goals, 119 possessions, 10 marks, 4 inside 50, so he's really doing it all. But, you know, the inferred pressure, again, Goddard flipping the ball back out to a ball user in Del Santo. And you're rightly giving your player a 60% chance really just to the right side, and must give you so much confidence to back your skill into kick to a one-on-one contest.
It's a great side, isn't it?
Yep.
Slippery ball, but had really good purchase on it.
Rucks go at it. Another one touched it. It was Hayes who smacked it forward. Kelly, Burns, Selwood a fumble. That ball is slippery. Montagna off the ground by Schneider in the opposite direction. Slapped forward by Kelly off the ground. Varco Gunnerwood's right half forward. Varco tracks it. Gilbert though with ample time. Tried to find his way through. Gave it to Montagna. Varco had kept coming. Revolt again. Met solidly by Kelly. Spills across to Del Santo. Kicks it down towards left half forward. In front was Milne. Corey there step for step. Loose at the back. Kaczynski overran it. Picked up by Wojcinski. Hard against the boundary line. Nifty. Well done by Scarlett to Bartel. Kept his balance nicely. Goes towards the outer side. Burns tracks it. Forced him wide. Bounces out of bounds. Let's go down to Richo.
Yeah, Brendan Goddard's been on Cameron Ling at full forward. He's just running down to halfback now, but you would say that's a win for the Saints. Cameron Ling's been getting his hand on the ball, and Goddard's taking him out of the play now.
So Otten's at the back, and Kelly went to ground. Milburn did very well there to Hunt. Hunt kicks long. Gwilt in a good spot, but Hawkins through the fingers. Gilbert stood up brilliantly. Hawkins tackled good. Montagna's had a wonderful match. His third quarter's been terrific. Kicks the ball wide. Kaczynski and Scarlett, and the Saints will be happy with that.
Just in that matchup, if you got Ling on Goddard, I'm not quite sure whether I'd want Goddard in defence, because Ling can be a dangerous forward third player. I'll be sort of trying to hang around the centre square, centre half forward. I don't think Ling defends as a defender nearly as well as he can play as a forward.
Ball at the back. Selwood, can he impose himself in the second half? He's gang tackled. Schneider in there. Ball up.
Just saw the centre clears 5-1 in favour of St Kilda in this quarter, gaining some real ascendancy. Just on Brendan Goddard, he's obviously got almost a free rein to
go where he wants,
dictate where he sets up, and he felt the need to drift back to half-back, and I'm sure Ross Lyon would be happy with that.
Brilliant by Gardner, got it down. Del Santo gave it to Ray. Spills towards half forward. Overrunning the ball though, Revolt. One of the few blemishes. Well done by Kelly. Knocked it down behind. Joel Corey to Milburn, who kicks to midfield. Coming hard there and doing well was Blake. Got it on the ground. Bartel though the crumb. Back to Selwood. Sweeping hand pass forward. Releases Burns. Aided by his natural left boot. Johnson had it bounce off his chest. Wheels around. Is he going for Varco? If he was, it won't get there. Ray getting back quickly to fill that hole.
And that's what they've done all night. Their midfielders are getting back so much better to help out their defenders. Just in the flow of play, they push back.
He just doesn't want to waste this, Ray. Determined to get it to a St Kilda player, and he does. Walter just off one step and straight to Wojcinski. Mooney had to wait for it. Gets it back to Corey. And Corey back inside. Chapman can't quite elude the tackle. That's unusual.
Got Milne on now.
G. Hayes, great pick up from the handball. Revolt the target. Open forward line, no one in the 50. Now Revolt holds it up. He waits. He goes to Gardner. Gardner spilled it. Ray with him. Back with Ray. Back they go. Fisher measures. Not a good kick. They've made a miss of that. They really had Geelong on their knees right there. Stokes called to go.
Gets it off to Milburn. Milburn pushing up from defence out towards the wing. Now Hawkins bet everything on winning that football. Then was in trouble. Goddard, not a big term this one. Out of bounds it goes. Rain continues to fall on that group. Mirror the weather. I think it's fair to say the atmosphere is pretty heavy at the moment. 54-77 thrown in. Centre wing. Kelly, bit of a fumble. Eddie on the way to the ground. Kelly back into the action. Oh, wonderful courage, Pete. Met solidly by Hunt. Came to Kelly. Kicks towards half forward. Varco gave a contest. Wonderful balance though by Fisher. Dawson slips a hand pass away. The run of Gwilt. Oh, Up goes Revolt. Couldn't hang on. Working at the back is Scarlett under enormous pressure. But there's plenty of support for him around this football. Hunt hesitates, then pops it across.
Needs to be precise.
Corey goes to ground tripped.
Advantage! Advantage!
So Milburn, Selwood takes a clever mark in the end. Quickly on, good kick to Chapman. And then Chapman quickly on. Now Ling running on with Stokes. Can they work it together? Stokes decides to go for goal. He should kick it.
Yep.
He leans back and does. And Geelong close again. End-to-end footy from the Cats.
Summed that up pretty well, Matthew Stokes. He had Cameron Ling playing forward on Brendan Goddard. Lingy was pushing around on his left foot. Matthew Stokes decided to almost feign that way. St Kilda players went to the left to attract to Ling and swung round and slotted the goal on his right.
What happened, I think, most of this third quarter is the actual game's opened up, and all of a sudden there's more space, and now we're seeing Geelong getting through the centre square a little bit, and when they do that, they're always going to be more dangerous forward.
Well, here's the goal again. Stokes there, just using Ling as a decoy, and they're starting to get a little bit of run off half back again, the Saints. Geelong for the first time tonight. Chapman's really struggling with his shoulder, his left shoulder. He hurt that in the first quarter. Has no power in that part of his body, so that's the reason why he was pushed off before.
Hand pass comes from Eddie across to Peake. Peake goes with the left boot. Won't get the distance. Milburn goes back. Comes out towards left half back. Wonderful pressure again. Revolt back on Taylor. Spilt there by Ray. Socket away by Wojcinski. Wojcinski tracks it up. That's a brilliant whip with a pickup. Goes to Rablett. He's in desperate trouble, but managed somehow to get boot to ball close to the boundary line. Taylor keeps it in, then gives it away. Gave it straight across towards Jones to Montagna. Like a swap meet. He goes to Chapman.
Good kick, Chapman. To Mackie. Mackie's got Burns running, not a good kick. Fisher at the back. Bartel, Fisher, Gwilt, Burns quick, goes to ground. Fisher runs it out. Geelong's done well here, though. They were very good. They were 33 points behind. They've actually put themselves in a position to launch in the last quarter.
Yeah, no doubt. Another goal here will be very important for the Cats to go and win, continue the momentum into the last quarter.
So Mackie talking about that run. Tim set off half back. Ling gave a little push. Montagna back. He's under pressure. Did pretty well. Gilbert, who just belted it out.
Gave him a chance.
Well, he deliberately hit the ball over the line.
The rule has become if you're under pressure, not to be confused with the force behind. Johnson could have been taken high.
Just drew the free kick.
Yeah, if you go in low, all the protection is for the upper box. It almost encourages players to go in even lower because you can't really get approached with any aggression from the front, but a high tackle, still a high tackle.
Not much Lee Montagna could do about that.
Yeah, he just ran into him, really.
So Johnson, one goal in this term. The sharpshooter comes in and gets another one, and suddenly the margin is marginal. It's 11 points.
Yeah, Stevie Johnson, we've spoken a lot about the job that Dempster's done on him. Quiet night, only the 10 possessions, but more importantly, 2 goals now, Lee. And it's the manner he's got the ball. He's been busy around the contest, around the stoppage. We spoke that there wasn't a hell of a lot that Lee Montagna could do about that. Steve Johnson just got himself in the right position, was able to almost go head first into the contest and drew the free kick.
Johnson's 50th goal here at the MCG, and his 34th game. He's playing his 150th all up. He's 34th at the G. And Geelong get back to within 2 goals. 5.5 goals down in this term. Milburn, high, Blake. Most experienced cat out there. So many players out there tonight that have played 150 plus for both teams. Battle-hardened teams, these two. But Geelong with those premierships to their name.
It's a very different look in Geelong's back 50 than what it was early in the game. There's plenty of space to bring it out. Bit one-on-one, but still there's plenty of space.
Jim Milburn. He was on the back step, wasn't he, on the left foot. He was looking for Burns, and Graham's got it. And then Graham kicks to a leading Kosicki. And Scarlett's now got hold of Kosicki a bit in this turn, hasn't he?
Yep, he's taking the front spot a bit now, Scarlett, taking the punt.
Saints have been playing at such a high intensity. Geelong now starting to claw back on the possession tally at the moment, 281 to 273.
Bartel to Chapman. He's a right half back. Other side now.
You can probably see it on the two. Sorry, Dennis.
Go ahead, Lee.
See on the TV screen a bit, but there's just more space. There's less players in the screen. They're just, the game has really opened up.
And that's suiting Geelong despite the rain. Chapman got it from Varka. What a wonderful wet weather mark. Fisher soaring over the pack. No. And what about the value? Either way for a late goal here. We're down to 50 seconds. Fisher just pops it forward of the wing. Jones has it. Now Gwilt. Oops. Nothing can be taken for granted here. Taylor was over the football after the miss in front by McWalter. Diving in is Kelly. We'll get a whistle.
Cats have kicked 5 goals without a miss in this quarter. 3-3 to the Saints. They've been efficient, Geelong, going forward in this term. They had to be ready to give themselves a chance. Ottens. It's a free kick to Geelong.
Over the shoulder, Bartel. Yep. Huge numbers around the stoppage here. Be happy to go back in at 11 points, I'd say.
Stay out, please.
Well, they've given themselves every chance, haven't they? Short to Kelly.
Play on!
Back they go. So the Cats within striking distance at three-quarter time in the qualifying final. That was a terrific comeback. They looked on their knees halfway through that quarter, but they were able to penetrate the Saints. And at three-quarter time here on Friday Night Footy, the qualifying final at the MCG, it's the Saints by 11 points over the Cats.
For St Kilda to actually retain possession of the ball. Interestingly, Nick Riewoldt had his longest spell at the end of that quarter too.
Yeah, he did. He had 5 minutes at the end of that quarter, only 7 for the match. So Ross Lyon knows, obviously, he's the most important player on the ground and freshened him up for one last effort.
Dalcendo's little kick, but Bartel wins a crucial clearance.
Hold him down. No, this way. Grabbing his arm and locking him in.
Three-quarter time in the grand final. It was 65 to 58 St Kilda's way. Tonight is 77 to 66. Cats getting over the top of them. Riewoldt, the target. Dalcento, clever kick to keep the ball in. He kicked it with his non-preferred to do that.
It's a bit of meterage now too, isn't it? Yep. Get the ball 10 metres forward, particularly out of bounds, reset at the stoppages. St Kilda will be happy with that.
Especially the start of the quarter while the ball is relatively dry. If you can execute your skills and get the score on the board early, that's really important.
It's just steady rain. It doesn't look like it'll go away. Hayes' handball favours Geelong a bit. Ling had to push forward. Goddard, such an influential opening half. Little less of the footy in the third. Kick back, Bartel missed it from Dalcento. Well done by Wojcinski. He got busy late in the third. And now Bartel with a mongrel punt forward. Well done by Mooney. Quick kick by Burns to a one-on-one. No mark. Ball comes out. Ablett. Well, couldn't pick it up with a wet ball. Hayes, Gilbert, gang tackle, Mooney and Burns. Gone.
Oh, shoot.
Positive sign from the Cats. 3 game tackles, as Bruce said.
On the line.
Hayes flicked on the handle. Not sure whether that was such a good decision. Sometimes you just got to get some meat of just really slippery ball.
Well, Lee, you and Tom backed him in the first half with a dry ball. He's actually a bit closer than he was there, but at the heavier ball, if he times it, well, he's kicked it off to the side, Mooney, and it's a behind. He's had a good match, Moons. He's kicked 3-3.
10 points the margin then. Wilt in the pocket.
Now Geelong are crowding up. They're going to be hard for St Kilda to get it out of here with any ease.
Fisher in the back pocket, opposite side. Del Santo coming up for his 24th possession, quietly racking up the numbers. From inside the defensive 50, short of the wing, Kazitsky launched himself off the fist of Milne, and it goes out of bounds.
And Ablett's taken the Jones matchup into the forward 50. He hasn't spent a lot of time in there tonight, but they know they've got to get some goals, so put one of the strike weapons forward.
Ottens got his right hand to it. In trouble in right. Nice hand pass from Milne. Got it across to Hayes. Hayes has been so good, so strong. Off the forearm of Scarlett and goes across the boundary line, just edging their way along this boundary line down towards their attacking 50.
Just saw Scarlett and Kazitsky in a one-on-one. Darren Milburn was looming pretty ominously. St Kilda can't afford the Geelong defenders to help out in the air in those situations.
Selwood runs over the top of Corey.
Gee, the game's got a different look. It's amazing. I think there's a bit of late season fatigue sets in, because the games we've seen the last month are often so different in the second half than they are the forward half in terms of congestion around the footy. They're really spread now.
Ottens, Selwood brought down in the tackle by Graham. Ablett gets involved.
It looks a really strong one-on-one game at the moment. In the first half, Lee, I think we saw St Kilda have the full ground press, but even at this stage it seems to be a one-on-one contested situation, and what Brad Scott was talking about, contested possessions and tackles are going to be key in this last quarter.
Montagna, Corey, back to Montagna. It's one of those games you feel like a toe poke will make a difference again tonight, don't you? There's a lot about the grand final right now. It's just going to be so hard to kick goals.
I think the element is who can actually score. In the third quarter, they kicked 5 goals straight from only 9 inside 50 entries. Geelong. St Kilda had 16, but kicked 3-3. Taking your chances is going to win it now.
Corey, third man up, knocked it down. Bartel with a quick kick down towards half forward. Here comes Stokes, paddles it to his own advantage, then fell over. Gilbert has kept his feet very well tonight. Throws it on the boot up towards the wing. Ottens from behind launched himself. Wojcinski, the speedster. Ottens just lobs it across to Bartel. That was accidental. Bartel kicks it towards midfield. Coming through was Goddard, standing his ground end right. Brilliantly done. Gave it to Selwood. Selwood inside the front 50. Reaching over the top, Gilbert. Got a fist on it, knocked it down. In goes Jones. Del Santo brushed aside. Falling over Ablett. Standing his ground down there was Dempster. Back comes Fisher. Fisher just... he just threw it across to the man standing alongside. That was a rugby union pass.
Take it off me. Take it off me.
Jones goes to ground under the tackle.
If you fall on it,
you're in strife.
We'll have a ball up.
Yeah.
So the inside 50's about the same now. Graham, Blake, Chapman did well. Blake, Corey has to hold up in the tackle. That ball came out. Don't know how that came out.
That's how it came out.
Right. So the throw picked up against Kazitsky. Corey now. Chapman running hard on the wing for him. Corey goes longer to Johnson. And then Johnson works the Saints underneath. And that's a good result for the Cats. A stoppage in their forward 50.
I think Sam Fisher's going to play a really important part tonight. We just see the throw there, the backhander from Justin Kazitsky. He's the player who is very adept at freeing himself up and just filling the hole of the Geelong forwards.
Mike Thompson very animated. Burns goes after the football, tries to paddle it back to the big guy. Blake slips it away. Chapman measures his hand pass, comes to Milburn, back to Chapman. Chapman the high ball down towards full forward. Plenty of Saints there. McAvoy goes back and forces it across the line. Margin is 9 points. And Goddard, who started slowly, now has 24 possessions. Drives this one. That doesn't count, of course. Outside the 50. Up goes in right at the second attempt. Takes the mark.
It's hard for Kaczynski, but he had to try and force his way to the footy.
Scarlett's done a good job on him, isn't he, since quarter time. Yeah. Enright's kicked a centre half forward. They had all the numbers, the Saints. Dawson did the roving. McAvoy, Fisher, Hayes, two very good players. Kicks the ball wide. Varco's just come off the interchange and keeps it in. And then kicks to the pocket. Ling a target. He's got it. Yep. Gee, that was a good mark. And I love this kick, wasn't it?
Tell you what, I don't like that matchup for St Kilda's point. Ling plays well on the full forward line. I don't think Goddard defends that well when he has to defend.
I think he's off for the blood rule, is he, Ling?
St Kilda, Lenny Hayes blood rule.
Lenny Hayes blood rule, is it?
OK, so Lingy's OK.
Junior full forward, Cameron Ling, that looked that way, just controlled the space and just got the last shove out of Brendan Goddard about when the ball was 5 metres away in the air. So terrific work in controlling the space.
Gee, Cats would like Hayes off the ground for as long as possible with that blood rule. Now, Ling, gee, what a reputation he had for being a dead-eyed dick as a set shotter. Didn't miss for a couple of years, I think in that sort of 07, 08 area. This would be some kick.
Right pocket for a left footer.
It's a chance. Gee.
Hit it well.
Yep. I think you're right, Lee. It's a really that's a win for the Cats. I think if they can get Goddard deep, particularly in the forward 50 for Geelong, and Cameron Ling coming out on the lead. Double-edged sword. Ling being able to play as the full forward and also taking Goddard away from half-back where he can set up for the Saints.
Galsando to bring it in then. Tell to hurry up. They're under siege now. Drives it outside the defensive 50. Offhands it, falls in front. Taken by Kelly. Goes short, not 15. Stokes has got it. Slips the hand pass away to Varco. Hand passed in hope, but kept on coming. Well done, Varco. Split the pack. Crawling after the football, Hawkins. In goes Stokes. Taken high. He's been taken high. A goal here. And the margin will simply be 2 points. Who would have thought it?
That's drawing the free kick. Get your head down. Go low and hard at the foot. It's amazing how you'll just get an errant hand over the shoulder. Not much in it. Very unlucky.
And that's Hollywood. I just spilt my pen. And Guy Pearce dashed in and picked it up for me. How about that? Meantime, back at the game, Stokes. Kicks. And he's missed.
I think Guy wanted to keep that LA confidential, didn't he?
Wasn't that a great movie? Eh?
He's a real cat man, so he's a...
See, Goddard's gone back to do the kick in, but that's just going to draw him deep.
He doesn't care.
I reckon you've got... I'm right around the footy. I reckon you've got to get Goddard in the middle of the ground to be a transition player.
Yeah.
To try and get it through, because if St Kilda don't kick another couple of goals, they'll get beaten.
He provided so much drive, didn't he, in the first half, Goddard. Little kick forward by Revolt. Now, Scarlett's been sitting back there for a while. Broke the tackle. Did very well to Corey. Enright had to belt it onto the boot. Well played by Bartel and Dalsano. Bartel clever. Ablett broke the tackle well enough to Burns, a left footer. Now he gets back onto it. Important this one. Johnson worked underneath it. He had to make more of a contest. McWalter off one step.
Kick.
Dawson, Varco, now Peake and Varco, a couple of the racehorses. Peake belts it forward. The Saints going almost to 50. They haven't been inside 50 in this last quarter. And Snyder taking the percentage.
That's a really good result for the Geelong defence is just hanging back now. It's like a brick wall across the half-back line.
Inside 50s there, 8 to Geelong, none to St Kilda, as Bruce alluded to.
So the Saints, a chance to regroup after that ball went out of bounds. Ling, close to the boundary line, skids out.
It's really all about the percentages now. Getting in low and hard, surging the ball forward. Matthew Stokes won himself a free kick from getting low and hard at the contest, and those are the basics that you really need to implement to get the job done in the wet weather football.
St Kilda's biggest lead, 33 points at the 8-minute mark of the third term. They played some irresistible football, but now the Cats are working back into it, hitting the pack hard but leaving the ball behind. Wojcinski scrambled forward by the Saints. Milne's got it. Just on the ground is Blake. Blake to his left, that's ignored. Puts it to space. Running back Snyder.
First inside 50 for the quarter.
Yeah, that's the transition play. They just They just looked like for a while there, St Kilda, they just had no one in the middle of the ground. The tackle turned the ball over, so that gave them the opportunity. It was the first time they had anyone to kick to, which was Mill in front of the centre square.
It was a tackle by McWalter, but it was the hand pass from Mackie which gave it to Barco, and he clearly wasn't in the position to receive the ball.
So this, about 9 months ago, or 11 months ago, when Schneider had a couple of shots late in that grand final.
So much riding on this one. In the fast lane to the preliminary final. Bit of work to be done yet, but that's a step in the right direction. Schneider comes in and slots it.
Just the efficiency, I think Geelong have been able to set up the defensive structure as they like by getting Scarlett and Milburn in particular playing in tandem, and they'll cut you up in that regard, but the way to get through is speed of ball movement. I really like what Zach Dawson did. He took a risk and went across the ground, broke up the traffic line of play, and that started the ball movement. But if you're playing a squeeze and you can get the ball fast and quick and over the top, which Schneider was able to run onto, and Nick Revolt was doing that in the first half as well.
Yeah, the tackling turnovers, don't they make it end? That's efficiency. First inside 50, a goal.
Yep.
Geelong had that efficiency in the third quarter, so St Kilda are going to have to need to do that.
13-point margin. Jones with the clearance. Burns, really quiet first half, been okay in the second. Kelly to Burns, then has to push it forward. Selwood going forward in the tackle, and then coughed it up to Eddie. Hayes off one step under pressure, and the ball bounces over the line.
We saw a shot just before off the Geelong bench. The rotations are going to become really important here. These conditions take a lot out of your legs. Lenny Hayes, fortunately, probably has spent some time on the bench getting stitched up, and he'll be really important going into the last 10 minutes of this game. Gardner
and Blake. Gardner reaches over the top, knocks it down. Dempster worked off the line of the footy. Bartel grabs it, goes looking for Kelly. Almost been in the back, off the deck by Milburn, close to the boundary line. Burns looking for a hand pass, stifled there by Jones, and out of bounds it goes.
St Kilda's tackling, but they've had now 58 tackles, St Kilda to Geelong's 46. This is critical for them to hold on to this lead.
Gee, well cut off there by Bartel. He just couldn't quite get an effective run away. Mackey's within range. He's 50 metres out. It's not going to be a goal, and Geelong get within 2 goals, that is.
5 goals straight in the third quarter, 5 behind straight in the last quarter.
Yeah, and it's St Kilda that have been efficient in their one go forward in this term. So Gwilt gets it as far as he can, fishes his target. Hunt, Fisher, Chapman, and also Blake.
Just having a quick look at the statistics, the contested possession tally now at 108 to 107 in Geelong's favour, and also total possessions now 322 to 319 also in Geelong's favour. So they've been able to get their ball back in the contested situation and control possession of the ball.
Blake knocking it down to Kelly, who was going nowhere. The official attendance tonight, 63,608, and given the forecast, that's not bad. You can see the drizzling rain etched against the Great Southern Stand. Selwood looking for a way through. Johnson goes after the football. Bartel's over it, slips it away. Wojcinski accelerates in the wrong direction. Goes to Taylor. Taylor the high ball. Johnson has to go. Knocked away, but a chance for Selwood. Selwood 50 metres out, goes looking for Chapman. Needs to mark it, does mark it. Crowd want 50. He was in the contest, says the umpire. So Chapman on a sharp angle. Selwood has certainly tried to get himself into the game since half-time and has done some important things. Very quiet early. Okay. Paul Chapman. We spoke before the game. A man who loves the big stage of September. Well, the spotlight is on him now. He kicks. Oh, he loves September. Straight through the middle. Mr. September. Paul Chapman.
Just the missed tackle there from Brett Peake. We've sung his praises tonight, but Joel Selwood just able to arch his back and break the tackle. Weighted kick from Selwood into Chapman. Just turned his body at the right time. He's one of those players those small players in stature, but knows how to mark the ball in contested situation, and can deliver on the big stage. We've seen him do that before.
They're tackling pressure St Kilda to be able to maintain it, because that has got to really, otherwise Geelong will overrun them.
He's never been goalless in a final, Chappie. This is his 13th final. He averages 1 goal more in each of his finals than he does in the home and away. He goes at 2.3 to 1.3, and Geelong out of the centre. Can't have a draw, by the way. There'll be extra time. If it is, Burns forward, Mooney crashing, Johnson down low, no free. Well done, Saints. Gilbert had to be so careful with the tackle. That ball hasn't come out. Ball up.
And this is where that sort of sickening bile sits in your guts when you've lost the grand final from last year to St Kilda. So they've got to utilise that emotion and turn it into a positive one.
Dempster had it cut off by Burns.
Trying to crash his way through McAvoy. Blake stood up in the tackle. Eddie, Montagna, Del Santo, upended Hayes, boundary throw in. What a remarkable game of football. It's ebbed and flowed, 8 minutes to go.
St Kilda have actually tried to get the extra man back in defence, but that means they will just not get the ball over their half-forward line. Scarlett's back there.
2 hands in his back is a push.
We talked about that song just after half-time. Last one standing. Well, that's the question. It's come down to that now. Both sides almost out on their feet. Little chop. Jones moves in and takes the mark.
St Kilda really need to engage Matthew Scarlett in some manner. McAvoy's pushing forward now. I think his direct opponent is actually Eddie, and Matt Scarlett will just tailor off the whole time and set up the defensive wall for the Cats.
Ottens reaches over the top. Knock Jones kick forward. Montagna a half chance. Ablett. Get the feeling the cream is rising to the top. Revolt might have one more card to play. 83 plays 77. The Saints are clinging to a narrow lead.
Mackey's come off the bench and gone forward for the Cats. So Ottens does win that tap. Burns, Hayes and Selwood together. Jones and Ablett together. So many great clashes. Enright pushing forward. Dempster's done a wonderful job as a late inclusion for Baker, but Johnson did kick a couple in the third.
You look at these conditions. I know Scarlett's on his own in Geelong's defence, and I can't find the St Kilda spare. We're getting sucked into congestion. That is going to suit Geelong.
Burns laid back in the tackle after Ottens won the tap down.
Guys. Locked in. Thanks, Lee.
So there is Scarlett left of screen with space.
Right back.
And Geelong with the extra man back. McAvoy maybe just winning it. Kelly rode the bump. Ablett held up.
Fine. I've got the footy. Thanks, guys.
Some tired players now. Might even be an understatement. Umpire tosses it up. Third man up, Milburn almost got through. Well played, Montagna. That was an important hand. He boots it up towards the wing. Coming at the football, Corey Johnson in there too. Enright slips over. On the assist, Wojcinski. Well played, Wojcinski. Paddled it across to Taylor to Kelly. Kelly unloads inside the forward 50. Staying on the ground was Chapman. Fisted away by the defence. Only as far as Ablett. Ablett, that's holding the ball. Wonderful tackle. Lunging after him was Gilbert and just got him in the nick of time. Look at this. Ball greasy. Free kick.
Kind of thing that really wins your games. Gamble it away, just got the hand in, forced to drop the ball.
He was unlucky, wasn't he? He just slipped at the wrong time for him. But it was a great tackle. Varco back. Here is Scarlett. That man that Lee and Tom have been talking about to Enright. Enright, good kick. Burns has got better as this match has gone on.
Stay there.
Well, every play crucial, as it was in September last year between these two. Kicks to the pocket. Hawkins couldn't get there. Well done, Blake. Held him back. And then Goddard. It was a dangerous kick, wasn't it?
Punted his kicking skills then.
Yep. To Montagna. Don't feel like there's a lot of rolls of the dice left, do you, for either team? Montagna goes back to Dempster. Dempster with a careful kick. Corey almost. Well done, Moon. That's a free kick to Corey.
Straight to him.
The game's just being played in Geelong's forward half at the moment. They'll eventually get these scored to St Kilda have just tried to defend the game. I don't think they're going to be able to hold on for 5 minutes without Geelong scoring.
Corey inside the forward 50. Behind the pack, Jones. Ablett burrows in, tries a hand pass. It was smothered. It goes out of bounds.
So much individual brilliance in the Geelong forward line with just see Stephen Milne copying a nasty one there. But Gary Ablett, Paul Chapman, Steve Johnson all licking their lips, I reckon, for that one opportunity to seal the game.
Blake wins it down. Del Santo brushes it with the boot at best. Gilbert, Eddie. Back comes Gilbert. Left it behind. Out of the congestion, Chapman. How will it bounce? Awkwardly for all of them. Third man in the queue. Fisher a half chance. Now Barco intercepts Dempster's hand pass. And it's less than a goal. Still plenty of time. 4.5 minutes at the G.
Just spells danger, Barco, when he gets the ball. He hasn't got a lot of the ball, but when he gets it, you'll feel like something will happen all the time.
Just the ball has hardly left Geelong's forward half for about 5 minutes. It's just so hard to defend without getting the ball out of your defence.
15-1 inside 50s in this quarter.
Yeah.
And they've kicked a goal with that one. Revolt up the ground again, and then Montagna.
Blake and Gardner, the two ruckmen out on the ground at the moment. That's going to be really important here, this stoppage here. St Kilda would love to get it out in open. Geelong would love to get it out in open. St Kilda really need to just batten down, surge it forward if they can.
Gardner probably just won the tap. Hayes went to ground. Stokes, Ray, ball comes out. High tackle, Selwood.
Can you imagine a more painful loss for the Saints if they would have dropped this one?
Maybe last year's grand final, but
well, I think this reinforces what happened that day, though. I think they liked themselves tonight.
Well, they, at 33 points out, looked home, didn't they?
You wouldn't think Iggy's going to be able to make the distance.
No, the distance will trouble him.
There we go, the torp. No, long drop punt.
No, he's gone the torp lead. He struck it for distance. It's a behind.
Not much of a judge, mate.
They've actually, about 5 minutes now, they've hung on for St Kilda without Geelong. Got a couple of behinds. You start to now get to 3 minutes. You know, once you get to 2 minutes, you've got some chance of hanging on, and they're whittling it down the clock, which is really all they're concerned with.
How accurate are the players with the knowledge of how long to go, do you reckon, Tom?
Yeah, look, the runners obviously play a really crucial part, so they're not going to know the players without the help of the runners. You'll see them out there ever present. You can see them both out there at the moment from the position that we're at. They'll be saying there's David Johnson, the Geelong runner, telling Matthew Scarlett, who's the general of the side, he'll be setting up from half back and just passing that message down, and he'll be the anchor defender, just surging the ball back into the forward 50 for the Cats.
Wonderful game to start the AFL final series. Revolt up on the ball, wins the tap. Big scramble. That does the Saints.
This is where because you can't fall on the ball, it just makes the game even more tense, doesn't it? Because players know I just can't jump on and hold it in.
Selwood hurriedly onto the boot, down towards full forward. Timely mark. Dawson in this term, 1 goal to 1-7. Dawson drives it towards the outer side. Chance for the Saints to break. The famous number 27 takes the mark.
This is work rate. Both sides need to go back, find their direct opponent, deny the opposition the ball. Also, the St Kilda players need to work their backsides off to create space, not only for themselves, but their particular teammates.
So Gwilt, it's a long kick, kicks to a contest. Lovely mark by Scarlett. And Scarlett, slipping over Chapman. Hard ball for Gilbert. Brilliant Hayes. Ball still to anyone. Gilbert there. Still not out this footy.
That's where Kosicki has to push back harder, doesn't he? I mean, he's a big man, just to make sure that Scarlett can't mark it. Look at that. Dominated this half.
Somebody told you at three-quarter time that have 17-1 inside. You say, by how far?
Yep. Contested possessions also. I mean, that's how they're getting the ball.
But 1 goal 7, though.
Well, in boxing parlance, we've seen a rope-a-dope from the Saints. And Kelly needs a cut man right now.
That's not insignificant. James Kelly, the leading tackler for the Cats with 10 out there. He's the one who really thrives in that contested situation.
2.5 minutes to go. Rucks go at it. Well, sort of. Corey was the man up. Revolt into the action. Drives inside the forward 50. It spills towards the boundary and goes out. Clock stops at 2:20.
St Kilda need to be really wary. Joel Corey's the Geelong player who'll go third up every time if they get the opportunity. Whoever's playing on him needs to knuckle him down and be aware that he'll be the man who'll launch to clear the space for the Cats.
So Revolt's going to be the third man up. Selwood in tight space, though, couldn't really get it out. Hayes was good against Lynn.
That was his intention all the time, Revolt, wasn't it? Knock it down, follow up.
Just keep going to the boundary line. That's all St Kilda. Now that with a wet ball, it's in their forward line. This is where they can really just defend.
Gardner won the tap. Hayes, Del Santo just slipped, kicks the ball forward. It'll run out.
Just inches and inches, isn't it? Just gaining meterage.
Very different when it's down the other end of the field. When the ball was being played in Geelong's forward half, but now St Kilda have got a chance to hold this lead without scoring.
Revolt again up with Taylor. Taylor pushing forward. Now Jones 60 metres out.
Gives a hand pass off to Hayes.
Got Gardner and Blake deep.
Under pressure. I doubt it will get that far. Del Santo in front had it fisted away. It's out of bounds.
Certainly a favourable matchup for St Kilda. Gardner taking this ruck contest and also the ability to play forward in a one-on-one contest against Mark Blake.
Outside the forward 50 of the Saints, it's one-on-one down the ground. So, well, actually, yes, it is still. They can just get a fast ball out of here, Geelong. Who knows? But that's proving hard to do. Wonderful pressure again from the Saints.
This is where the wet ball's hard to move it quickly and with any precision. So it's almost becomes forward footy, and they've done a good job to hold St Kilda hold Geelong for this last 8 minutes.
Again, Revolt and Taylor, the third and fourth men. Now, Del Santo, does he go long or does he try and find somebody? He builds it forward, and in doing so, Geelong get the ball. It was Bartel. One last chance, you reckon? This is it. Scarlett decides to get it as far as he can, as quickly as he can. Ball now, a chance. Milburn does something similar. Hacks it forward. The bouncing ball important. Dawson, Mooney, Gwilt, and now Ling.
Holding the man for the St Kilda.
Hello, controversy.
I think they've kicked the winning goal.
Free kick.
That was a free kick.
It's in the back.
This is finals footy, isn't it? Stakes are so high.
You just lost us the game. You just lost us the game. You just lost us the game.
Hey, hang on.
You understand that?
Cam, it's not over.
It's in the back.
You understand that?
No, you landed in his back, so it has to
Mate, that was just a good clean tackle.
He'll get 50 if he's not careful.
Stephen Mills out here by himself on the wing. He's come off the bench.
To Gilbert. That was a clever kick, actually. Drew Stokes to the man.
It's all about possession now for the Saints.
We're down to 45 seconds.
Now that's where it's down the line now for St Kilda. Down the line. Hold it in this last 40 seconds. Long down the line. That's what they're going to do.
Peach goes for distance. High ball towards the attacking 50. Taylor from behind tries for the mark. It spills to Schneider. Brilliantly done. I think it was out of bounds. It was. We've got the call. Clock stops at 26. This could be a famous victory for St Kilda.
Revolt. Selwood kicks to centre wing. Peak at the back. Milne quickly belts it on.
Where you want it.
They're safe. Geelong are going to have to play 4 consecutive weeks to win a third grand final. Something they haven't done in 07 or 09.
When they were goal in front with about 8 minutes to go, I didn't think it was possible to hold on for 8 minutes, but they've done it.
What a great game of footy. What a result. The favourites have been beaten. What a classic. The Saints beat Geelong for the 3rd time in 4 outings in the last 2 years.